In the beginning, before we got into lead generation, our lives were separate. I worked as an oil field consultant out of state, gone for a month at a time or better, and we didn't get to spend much time together. And we lived our life that way for several years, where we were together 5 days, 6 days a month at the most, and the rest of the time we were apart. We decided we had to find something to replace that kind of work for me. It made a really good living, but the cost was just too great.
Prior to lead generation, I was actually a registered nurse. And then in 2012, I was diagnosed with a series of unfortunate autoimmune disorders and had to actually retire from nursing. And I hid and got depressed and ran away from life until I met Joseph. And then I had hope again.
Amy actually got interested in the lead generation model as she was doing research for business ideas that could bring me home.
We didn't like living our lives apart. It didn't work for us. We're getting older. We wanted mailbox money. We wanted a laptop lifestyle, which is something I didn't even know existed. Like he said, I was researching ideas to bring him home.
When I was working in the oil field, it was the type of career that the longer I stayed out in the field, the more money that I made. I really didn't have a schedule, but I would routinely be away from home.
8 hours away from home.
At least 8-hour drive away from home. About the last year, I was in another state for about 3 weeks, and I'd get to come home for about 6 days. So that would just rotate over and over again. So you can imagine how it's really difficult to live your life and have a family when you do everything through a screen. Nothing beats being in close proximity to those you care about.
It got old fast.
Very old. That particular career that I left, we were grossing $360,000 a year. So you can imagine it was a difficult decision. It was kind of scary to walk away from, but we saw the potential in the lead gen model.
When I first got started, I can't tell you what a brain block I had. My initial goals were just to try to understand, try to wrap my brain around the fact that it was a legitimate, buildable, scalable business for someone like me who knew nothing about sales or marketing or promoting myself. I didn't get as quick a start as I wanted to, but the last several months since Joseph's come home full time from the oil field, we've really started to make some moves and go full in and expand. So it's been exciting.
And scary, but starting to see the payoff for all the work we've put in. It seems like the last 6 months has been just grinding, but at the same time, it's flown by like it was just a moment because there's so much happening right now. It's just really, really exciting. So my short-term goal was that she could build it out to the point where it would make a couple $1,000s a month and, it would be good supplemental income. I honestly didn't think of it as a viable primary business for us in the beginning. Thankfully, I stuck by her side and then got my own hooks into it and started to see the potential if we would just put in the work. And so we've surpassed that like it was nothing. This is really a business model that works. It allows you flexibility, and it's actually been quite a wonderful ride to be able to experience this with my wife. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Our long-term goal is to have enough recurring income that we are no longer at these desks 10 hours a day obtaining backlinks. That's the biggest goal. We're planning for our future. We don't want to be at a desk, at a job. We want to be in a place where we have multiple streams of income, employing people who need that job.
And I would say in addition, my goal is to get as many business owners as possible set up where they've got more work than they want. I want to partner with them and come alongside them. It's a very humbling position to be in, to be able to help a business owner. The biggest challenge that I faced at first, I had shiny object syndrome. So I was looking in every direction for every little thing I could get my fingers into, which means I wasn't getting much done. Actually, that's where we started the conversation about D4U and starting to outsource some of our tasks in lead generation, namely site building and all the stuff that takes so much time.
That was where we had to really set aside some time to talk about our business model, how we were going to move forward, what we were going to do, what we were going to outsource. And D4U definitely stepped in with a winner. We decided to buy a 20-pack, and we've used most of those so far, and it's really eased that burden of being able to focus our attention on the things that really matter. At first, I thought the thing I needed to do was build a perfect looking website with perfect copy, with the perfect pictures and everything in line before I even launched the site, before I even published. Now I understand, buy a domain, get the sucker up. Those things took so long to get through my thick head, but the D4U products has been such a valuable resource for us to step out of the doing.
Hammering out, getting sites up, getting ourselves out there, prospecting, and gaining clients. D4U has actually been a really big part of that.
Taking advantage of all of the tools available to us that I was so afraid to invest in before, not understanding that making the money that we worked so hard to save the last year before Joseph came home work for us was terrifying to me because of my mindset of money.
I watched a mind shift change happen in Amy once she got her mind wrapped around working on a business rather than working in the business and not being afraid to outsource and scale. That's when the magic really started to happen. When I saw that shift happen in her, it was like a great big light bulb went off over her head, and she's been unstoppable since. But the very first website she put up was also the very first website that she got a paying lead on. That was for $10. $10 for that lead. And it was probably the most valuable lead that we've ever gotten, because that feeling of selling the first lead was ultimately legitimizing. The niche is in poop removal for doggos. It's a poop removal service.
I was so terrified to talk to this person that I already knew. I had known this man for years. And I thought, all right, we're going to give it a try. I'm going to test my toe. We're on scale to do about $300 a month. And that was my goal. That was my initial goal with my very first site, was $300 a month. And we're well on track to do that for him. In fact, he posted on his own Facebook timeline. This is the most rewarding part of my job right here. He posted on his timeline the other day that he was looking to hire help. And that has been very rewarding. Now, what's more rewarding is getting a phone call for an equine horse breeder who breeds barrel racing horses. $100,000 horses through our painting business website that Donnie and his team built. They've paid us about $20,000 with about $2,000 or $3,000 more dollars to come over the last month to do painting work and stuff out of their stuff. So that is much more rewarding. But my little wee scoop the poop baby is still there and going on.
And he is still a client, and we have no reason to think that he won't be a client for years to come. So while she shakes her head at it being a $300 a month client, that's $300 a month for being on basically autopilot for perpetuity. And if he ever gets to the point where he's scaled as far as he wants to go, it's nothing to turn that on to somebody else. And that really is the value in what we're doing. I think the light bulb or aha moment for me was when I sat down and ran the numbers of what we could accomplish, outsourcing, getting the doing of our business as much as possible put on other shoulders. It's been an extremely profitable investment in our business and has helped us to scale rapidly. D4U, Donnie's been a big part of that. I know we've been a pain in his rear every once in a while with questions and requests and worries and whatnot, but he's been very gracious to educate and help us in areas that we were lacking.
So making those connections and getting those leads right away with the intentional content that is on these D4U sites, which at first I was going, well, these aren't very specific to our like town or like perfectly saying something about this. And that's part of my being a pain in Donnie's butt. The proof's in the pudding. He's going, listen, this content is for Google. No one is reading 2,000 words about your stupid whatever carport site, lady. Just get over yourself. I'm like, okay, you're right, I know. And I was spending such an inordinate amount of time going through and combing over every stitch of content because my English kind of major and love of the language background had me blocked. It really did. It had me blocked that the content wasn't the most important thing. Getting the dadgum phone to ring is the most important thing. And it's happening if I just leave these sites alone and let Donnie do what he does.
Yeah. Normally, if we start adjusting anything that Donnie's done, we make it worse.
Exactly.
He's really got it down to a science. Him and his team, all of you have it down to a science.
Done For You has allowed us the opportunity to step out of the daily grind of content writing and website building that is just for someone like for people like us who are really not, I mean, I know how to do it, but how long does it take me?
D4U plays a major role. It's like having a team in a box. That's what it comes down to for us.
Who knows exactly what we do, how we do it, and why.
Yeah, it doesn't feel cobbled together at all, and it's really D4U has allowed us to focus and double up our efforts. I don't think we would be where we are right now without D4U. It's not even I don't think. I know for sure that we wouldn't be, and I don't think that our goals this year could be met without D4U.
No way.
The month of January, 16,000 a month currently, and we are projected to be to at least hit that mark in February. December would have been about 10,000, and the month before that was about 2. Mm-hmm. So you can see how it jumps up and scales very quickly. 2,000 to 10,000 to 16 this month. We should be between 16 and 20, and our goal by the end of this year is to be at $84,000 a month, to be at $1 million a year.
My advice is do the thing, pull the trigger, spend the money, jump in, buy the tool, accept the help that's there on a silver platter. If you do the math for a 20-pack of D4U sites, it's a no-brainer if you have the money. If you don't have the money, put in a process that is systematic, that will build a site, rank a site, and do many of them. Don't be afraid, because if you screw it up, trust me, we've screwed up plenty. You're gonna mess it up. Something's gonna happen, and you have to be prepared. And if you know that going in, it's a little less scary.
Hi, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Amy, and I'm here to say Uncle Dan is not the only one with a fur coat. We are here to encourage you to leverage every resource JK offers.
Donnie's D4U service has been invaluable in helping us scale our business from $2,000 to $16,000 a month in just these last 3 short months.
There is not a wiser way to spend your money if you're looking to step out of the doing and into the growing really quick.
With Donnie's prices and with what he delivers, it's an absolute no-brainer. Go do it now.
We wish we would have done it so much sooner.
That's the truth.